If you're a giver, find another giver to love, because the truth is you will be much happier with another giver. And that's the paradox. A lot of givers are drawn to takers, and a lot of takers are drawn to givers. But in order for you to actually be with a giver, you're going to have to break a pattern. You're going to have to get more comfortable with receiving, with being given to. You're going to have to stop pouring all your love into someone who does not love you back. You're going to have to break the pattern of over-functioning and over-giving and people-pleasing just so that you get something back in return from someone who's not even all in. Your whole life is going to change when you learn how to receive and you find someone who's aligned in that nature of yours, which is to give. It is a paradox. There are so many people who are very giving, who are going to be drawn to takers because it reminds them of something often from childhood. And what happens is that even if you are the most giving, loving, generous person, even if you're the person who would just take your shirt off your back for a stranger on the street, or for your best friend or whoever, once you are in a relationship with someone who either is not all in, so they're not totally choosing you, they're not totally committed to you, literally and energetically and emotionally, or you're with someone who's incredibly selfish, there's something that's going to happen to your giving nature. You are then going to be using it as a strategy to get back love in return. And that's when it starts to feel like self-abandonment, because giving is not your pathology. It is your nature. It is, you give because at a very high level, you value people, you value your relationships with people, and you value generosity. And so it's who you are. It's who you are in your friendships. It's who you are in your work. It's who you are in your family. It's who you are in your romantic relationships. But then as soon as you get attached to someone who's pulling away, or again, isn't that kind to you, or just isn't all in, then it turns into pleasing and over-functioning. And then once we get into that, then we become resentful. Or here's another thing that happens. You could be with someone who's amazing, but you're over-functioning because your giving nature has kind of tipped over the scale a little bit. And when you get stressed, even if it's completely separate from your relationship, your pattern is then to overfunction. And if you're honest with yourself, you see that overfunctioning happening in different areas of your life. And then, because of that, you grow resentful. And then what happens is, because of your resentment, you actually start to withhold your love. You withhold your affection, withhold your generous spirit. And that is the deepest betrayal of oneself, because then you are completely out of alignment with who you are and what you value. And the moment we start to do things that are out of alignment or incongruent with what it is we truly value, that is the moment that we start to suffer. So it's just about understanding your pattern. Then there are lots of people, and I see this a ton with women, but not only, there's so much over-functioning and there's so little giving to oneself. That's why so much of this is breaking the pattern of being uncomfortable with receiving. At first, you have to be able to receive from yourself. You have to be able and be willing to fill your own cup, because the more you fill your cup, the more you can give, and the more you can give from a place of wholeness. And the more any of us give from a place that feels whole inside of us, meaning like we're not over functioning, we're not people pleasing, we're not doing all these things that the internet has pathologized over and over and over again. We're literally in flow with who we really are, and we're giving from an energetic space, meaning we're not exhausted. That leads to a tremendous amount of fulfillment in life. When we can really carry out and be who we are without exhausting ourselves, without fear, without feeling like we have to be that way in order to get validation, recognition, love, and security, then we are, quote unquote, happy. And so if you really are a giver, then you have to give to yourself, because it is only going to make giving that much more effective and that much more fulfilling. And everyone around you in your life, your lover, your siblings, your friends, your community, your children, if you have them, every single person is going to benefit from you giving to yourself. And then you have to break the pattern of just giving to people who are selfish. And look, a relationship, one of the things that will break down a relationship really fast, that I have seen over and over again, and I've even experienced it, is this one thing: keeping score. It's, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, or, I don't know, things aren't feeling very 50-50 right now. They're feeling a little bit 60-40. And then you start to pull back and you're keeping score to even out the score. The healthiest relationships are not 50-50 at all. One person is dealing with a lot of stress and exhaustion and they're at 20%, and their partner picks up the slack at 80%. And then another day, it changes. And the scale always balances out. When you're in a good relationship, the scale always balances out. That's what it means to have each other's backs. And no one is keeping score. And being in a relationship means sometimes putting someone's needs before our own. And that can be a very dangerous thing to hear for someone who's always putting everyone else before them, very much to their detriment. The answer is not just put yourself first no matter what. The answer is know when you should be putting yourself first, and know when it's appropriate to put someone you love first. And so breaking the pattern of loving takers, the first step is to really get comfortable with receiving and to just notice, like to build that awareness around when you feel uncomfortable, when someone wants to do something for you or wants to be kind to you or even just pay you a compliment or just help you. Some of us have just been so used to doing everything ourselves that we just take on everything and then end up exhausted. And not only that, you deny someone who loves you the privilege of being able to be of service to you. Because I really, truly know that to love someone is to want to be of service to them. It doesn't mean you're in service to them to the detriment of your own, but of your own well-being, but you want to do things for them. You want to meet their needs. You want to speak their love language. That's what it means to truly love someone. But it's also what it means to truly love yourself. And to love yourself is not just a feeling. To love another is not just a feeling. To love yourself is not just a feeling, it's an action. So you may not feel particularly loving towards yourself one day. You might, be so used to putting yourself last and putting everyone else first and not receiving anything. But the moment you show yourself that love, the moment you say, you know what? If I'm going to operate on a high functioning level, if I'm going to be able to live my life the way I want to live it, according to the values that I hold very dear to my heart, I've got to be able to take care of me. I cannot constantly put myself last. And when you start to make that shift, you are going to start to spot the selfish takers. But there's one other thing I want to say. Every single one of us, if we're really honest with ourselves, have been selfish in a relationship. Even the most generous, empathetic givers in us have been selfish in a relationship. Because when we are pushed far enough towards the edge of our insecurity, or we are pushed far enough towards the edge of our exhaustion, we can become obsessed with our own needs and what we're not getting, and not even think about the needs that we are not meeting for someone else. So being a taker and being selfish is something that we all have to learn how to overcome in a relationship. But that's not the same thing as being in a relationship with someone who just doesn't understand that love is an action, not just a feeling.